Well, have you ever heard of social media insurance? You may be hearing a lot more about it soon. It's what bloggers are buying to protect themselves if they are sued over what they post. Now, the cost of defending those suits can cost anywhere from a few $1,000s to $100,000 if that case goes to trial. I'm joined now by James Goodale. He served as general counsel to the New York Times during the Pentagon Papers case, and also he's an advisor to Harvard's Citizen Media Law Project. And Mr. Goodale, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Very interesting development in this internet world. I mean, where does this fall in terms of free speech and libel defamation here?
Well, first of all, I think all media lawyers have been looking at the floodgates and whether they will open with a lot of libel suits. So where this fits in, to answer your question, is there's lots and lots and lots of speech out there. It's a world record speechdom, so to speak. So everyone thinks they have a First Amendment right to speak. They do. But the issue is, do they have the First Amendment right to say anything they want? And I think libel lawyers have been waiting for these lawsuits to begin. And, you know, until last year, they hadn't. So now the bloggers are sitting.
Why not, by the way? Why not?
You know, I really don't know. It's been so surprising. I think it's probably because the average lawyer who brings these suits doesn't realize that many bloggers have insurance even though they haven't bought the social media insurance because they own homes. Do you know that?
Right, so it's covered by your homeowner's insurance.
So I don't think that the libel lawyers figure they could sue, let's say you, if you were a blogger. And let's assume you don't have a zillion dollars. It probably didn't seem worthwhile. But if they knew you had an insurance policy to pick up the cost of the suit and pay them off, there'd be more suits. I think people are just beginning to awaken to it. So it's a very interesting development.
So if it's covered, though, in many ways by homeowners insurance, then why would you need social media insurance? Well, what does that protect you against?
All the insurance policies, it's like health insurance. They got so many caveats and so forth and so on. So if, for example, you're in a blogger who's taking in ads, you're in the business, you're sort of the same as you're in the business of media, the policy may not apply, okay? And then again, you may not own a home. You may be a renter and not have any.
Now, who is going to be most vulnerable? Because you can imagine that if it's a blogger who's got, 10 readers, I mean, is that person really going to be vulnerable? Are we talking more of the mass market bloggers then?
Well, I would tell you that my rule would be that if you're a blogger, think before you write. And the same with emails, because it all comes out. So that's number one rule. Now, number two practical rule is, as you suggest, unless you have a huge audience, unless you're somewhat prominent, your risk is going to be diminished. But I don't think that stops the basic rule. Be careful what you say.
Now, to what extent are Facebook or Twitter, those companies that have these platforms for these people that are using, that are writing, how much are they responsible for any of this?
Home free.
Really?
Home free. The way the law is set up, and it probably will get changed at some point in time, if you provide the forum for the blogger or for the speaker or for the person on Facebook, unless you've done something that's out of sight, and no one has found anyone who has thus far, you're going to be home free.
Okay. Mr. Goodale, great to talk with you.
Nice
this is a very
you.
interesting development. Okay, that was James Goodale. He was the former general counsel of the New York Times and also an advisor to Harvard's Citizen Media Law Project.